All right. Hello, everybody. This is Matt Ham and Kevin Adams. We're the co-founders of Uprint. This is our weekly broadcast, Wake Up Our Faith. And today, Kevin, tell them what we're doing.
Well, look, we're going to take our focus and focus on good news. And there's so many different types of good news, but big and small. Here's the good news. The rest of the story.
That's right. Give us your Paul Harvey, man. Come on. I need the Paul Harvey.
I'm Paul Harvey with the rest of the story.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, we certainly appreciate everybody who's jumping on live stream here. We encourage you guys, share this out, invite some folks along to talk about the good news today. That's what we're here to do. And so this should be a lot of fun. We do this show every week. It's a weekly broadcast for us. Our corporate partners make the show possible. We want to recognize them right here. Going to bring up a quick preview. These are our corporate partners here. We're going to recognize them throughout the show. One of them being Dr. Greg Veman at Seacoast Skin Surgery. Also has an incredible ministry, everlastingstrength.org on the web. 910-256-2100. Also, Chris Hutchins and the team at Guaranteed Rate Mortgage. More than 20 years experience in the business. Mortgage industry right now is still rocking and rolling. They're having to do some things differently, but Chris said it's been a great learning opportunity. Make sure you reach out to Chris and his team, 910-344-0304. And then Century 21 Swalyer and Associates. One of our real estate partners, more than 30 years experience here in southeastern North Carolina. Jeff and his team, fantastic group of folks, 910-256-0021. So, Kevo, today, here's the good news. Go ahead and kick this off and a little bit about, why we're doing it and, enlighten us.
Oh, sure. Put it off on me. Well, look, we just felt like we wanted to help people continue to refocus. Yes. We're inundated with all kind of garbage, and I won't even call it bad news, but it's just not from God. And it gets tossed around in the name of be a good steward, or but you got to all that. Well, you know what? If we look at everything as a believer, we've got to hijack back our landscape, and it's not just positive thinking. It's living out who you are, and so we're going to smile and laugh and have some fun and tease and joke a little bit. We're not, but we're calling it here's the good news, because there's plenty of it out there, and we want to present it, give you a chuckle, and get you in a good mood.
Can I start by showing a funny picture?
Absolutely. Let's hear it. See it.
You guys, this made me laugh so much. Oh, wait a second. Where'd it go? Is that it? Can you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
What
am I looking at?
It's the Zoom room. Not the upper room, but it's the Zoom room. Y'all see this? Look, Jesus is being socially distant with the disciples. Come on.
Oh, man.
Come on.
Which one are you?
Oh, I'm Peter. I don't know which one's Peter. Is that Peter right there with the white beard?
Probably. Paul's Paul's not there, but
Paul wasn't in the upper room.
They always make Paul a bald guy. So
yeah, there we go.
But no, John is the one I think that I'm trying to figure out. John, not Paul. I was thinking about John. He's, is he the one of the little red sort of
here
feminine outfit there?
Yeah. Look at that garb, man. It's like nightgowns.
Oh my gosh.
When I saw this, Kevin, I laughed so hard because, think about it. There were 12 of them, so they were over the number of 10. And so the question is would Jesus have still had the Last Supper if he was in quarantine?
Oh man, it's such a serious thing, and just that picture is just so the distance thing, I guess, is I used to imagine when I was doing a lot of Twitter and stuff a decade ago, I used to imagine Moses at the Red Sea trying to tweet out that he was gonna, it's gonna part. I promise.
Yeah.
So this is kind of harkens back to that. But what an interesting time to. So what are some other? You just mentioned the term social. I can't even say it. I don't want to say it. I hate. I'm going to say social. All right. Pause. Distancing. Okay, there you go. That's the Kevin version. But what the heck? I mean, what does this mean, really?
I hear you, man. And I think that, the funny thing is that you have multiple types of people when it comes to this social distancing deal.
Yeah.
You've got your rule followers, which I have to give credit to my neighbor on this. My kids, I have 5 of them. They're running around crazy. And the other day they ran up on my neighbor and kind of startled him. And he had a tape measure and he pulled it out and he said, 6 feet. You got to stay back 6 feet.
No way.
And
this really happened?
Oh, really happened. Yeah. And he's a
gosh.
doctor. He's a doctor. He's a physician. He's a funny guy.
Okay.
And I was like, but you have these rule followers who are walking around with 6 feet, and they go to the grocery store. They get mad at you if you get close to them, And it's like, I always think, here's my thing is you don't want to be close enough to smell somebody. If you can smell somebody, you're too close.
No, it's totally different for me, man. I think it's like 27, 30 feet. When
this
I
is no
start
problem for you.
Oh yeah, germaphobe from back when God was a boy and dinosaurs ruled the earth or whatever. I was a germaphobe. Hey, so we go into like we got the veggie wagon down here. I like that place a lot. You can grab a beer or a granola bar, and but I mean, man, I get that stuff home, and it's like I spray all of it. I'm probably eating some disinfectant, but yeah, it's bigger than, to me, the distance thing is like, droplets, they go, sneeze. We were walking around the Carolina Beach, the lake the other day, and there's a fountain in the middle. And so, I'm feeling drops and stuff, and I'm just praying, it's not the guy in front of me.
I am so the other way, man. Like I am right now probably offending anyone that I come close to because I forget, man. I'm just like this teddy bear. I want to go hug people, I'm having to fight the urge.
Yeah. Well, you clear your throat a lot too, man. I got to tell you, that's tough sometimes.
It's a bad habit. Maybe this is an opportunity for me to stop that habit.
Well, of course, I'm poking fun at you, but I think what it does is all of our little habits and things that we normally just kind of laugh off or don't worry about. The difference is what's in your heart versus, or what's not. And we want to let the humor of it in there, right?
Yeah.
We can call me a germaphobe and you a who cares kind of guy about germs. They're your friends. They're like your stuffed animals on your bed, man. Just come on in.
Hey,
that's an evangelist for you.
Hey, I will say, I showered today. I'm proud of myself. I showered today. But I will say this thing right here is getting so moppy. Liz was like, you got to do something with that. And I was like, well, I'll just wear a hat.
That's exactly what hats are for. Keeping your forehead from the sun and bad hair. But your hair looks good, man. You got a good head of hair.
Here's the thing. So the social distancing. It can't apply. Like, I mean, at my house, man, like, just forget about it, dude. There's 7 people up in here. You know what I mean? Like, people want to take it to the extreme. Like, what about your spouse? What about people? You know what I mean? Like, it's so, you can't do it. I mean, at some point in time, this all has to give.
Yeah. Well, so I think that, but see, it fits with your personality. I think that's the point of this is, again, you're like evangelizing to germs because you just want them all, that none should perish, even germs, man. Hey, my daughter years ago, she said, Dad, she was like, this is Riley. She's probably, I think she's about 5 or 6. She says, Dad, should we, because she's so gentle, she said, should we pray for the devil? Should we pray for him? I thought, wow, that's amazing. You know, I mean, of course, it's, you know, there's no hope for that guy, but
He's done.
it just goes back to your personality and just wanting to reach people, and that's part of this too. Is, you know, you're named appropriately, Ham, but yeah. So making light of this social distance thing. What is it? You hear it in churches, you know, or whatever churches are these days. You're hearing it from everybody all the way down, and I can't believe I just even said it. I don't want to even say it. There's nothing innovative about it. There's nothing. Wash your hands, you know, pray, and you know, whatever that looks like for you, engage it. But here's the thing: don't let it in your heart. Don't let the fear and the worry in your heart.
Yeah.
And, then you'll be all right. And if it's 6 foot for Matt, or 2 feet, 6 foot for your medical friend, and 30 feet for Kevin, and it's all good, man.
Let it be. Let it be. So, you know, something else, Kev, like talking about good news, we want to encourage those who are tuning on, like to share out like cool things that you're seeing, you know, to share out good news. Like what is it in your life that you're experiencing right now that is good? You know, what is good about your life right now? And I think that the teaching point here, the moment opportunity is, you know, whatever we focus on, right, and whatever we give our attention to, it starts to have that capacity, like you just said, to get into your heart. And we have an opportunity to kind of turn this thing on its head. So, you know, I had a really cool opportunity the other day. It's a friend of ours, a member of our Portable Faith community. She actually works at a nursing home here around the corner. And because of this situation, she actually asked me if I would come and in the lawn of the nursing home, if I would pray with some of the folks that work there. And, you know, 3 months ago, probably wouldn't have happened, you know?
Yeah.
But right now, man, we had like 25 people out there, and we were praying, and like people were driving by and they were stopping to like watch. She's like, what's going on out there? So it was like super cool, man. I mean, you know, these are neat things that are happening right now.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point. We want to engage, you know, we want to sort of create a new environment and do this regularly. But before we do, we got some more terms here, man. You know, hot zone. I wrote some of them down. Every time I hear the word hot zone now, I don't think of, you know, like the sun or I think of like contagion. I think of Italy, hot zone, Italy. I love Italy. It's just such a great place, and the food's great, and now it's a freaking hot zone.
Do you know what a hot zone is to me?
What's that?
It's going into the bathroom after one of my boys has used it.
Oh man, yeah, that's wow. I can
the hot
only
zone.
imagine.
The hot zone. Turn on the fan. Hot zone.
Yeah, that's right. Bring it back around to the toilet level. That's but you know, so it's funny. We've got these terms, and you know, what do we do with all that? I think it's time for us to, and this is why we're doing this is, you know, send us your thoughts and funny ideas and stuff. I mean, we just want to toss it around. We didn't even prepare for this today. We just felt like it was the right thing to do. Matt's already a funny guy. I have a deep, funny sense of humor, but it'll catch you off guard, right?
It'll scare
Mr.
you.
Ham. But you watch out. I'll send you some emojis that you go, ooh, that's kind of freaking me out. How did he do that? But the point is our hearts are in the right place, and we want to help you to go there. And you know, it can be anything. So I think that was sort of the point. And I guess we're going to wrap up this segment and then jump into the next one here.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, here we go, guys. Want to pause for a moment and recognize our corporate partners. Let me see if I can get this back up. Boom. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. These are our corporate partners make the show possible. One of them being Freeman Landscaping. This is Southeastern North Carolina's largest landscaping irrigation firm, family owned and operated since 1992. They're still out there doing what they do and doing it well. You can connect with them, 910-796-1166. Also, Physical Therapy Services of Wilmington, ptservicesofwilmington.com on the web. They are an essential business, still open for business, doing what they do. Russ and his team would love to help you out if you need any needs there, 910-763-8286. And our good friend, Melissa the Coach. This is Melissa Thomas. She is a speaker, personal finance coach. She also helps folks with minimalism right now for folks who are in the midst of, challenging with their finances, or they need someone to talk to. Melissa is a great resource there for you. You can reach out to her, melissathecoach@gmail.com, as well as melissathecoach.com on the web. So thanks to our corporate partners. So Kev, kind of continuing on here, man. Today's about being the good news. I think that that's something that's largely missed out on in Christian culture. We've been saying it for a while now, be the good news. And we say that with our lips, but what does that actually mean with our lives?
Yeah, well, we know where the good news comes from, the ultimate good news, capital G, capital N. But I think sometimes the best way to share that is to become the good news for someone else in a moment. And that, look, sometimes I've had some people say, you're not the good news, that's Jesus. And duh, come on, look, but so my question back to that guy or whoever it was is, are you his hands and feet or am I? If you're his hands and feet, dude, you better be the good news with them hands and feet. So, we like, he's not here. He's in us, right? He's not here physically. I mean, he's here. I'll get some other people mad at me, but he's in us. So we got to go do that. A lot of times, the best medicine is laughter and making light of things and taking the focus off of, look, when I was a kid or a young guy, Corona meant lime and beer, and it's just so perverted now. I don't even want to say the word anymore, so we got to turn it around.
We do. You don't even like Corona though.
Well, I have an advanced palate now, so
you do.
But beer is way better than it used to be. Like, I started drinking Old Milwaukee when I was a kid. Like, that was good. That's total. I would never touch. I won't even get social distance from that crap.
Yeah.
But, anyway, I think the point is just a lot of these things that have meaning to us and fun and humor. We want to hijack everything back from the enemy. Enemy wants to kill, steal, and destroy. Help us take it back, and let's spend our thought life on good things and good news from top to bottom. And that's what we're doing. We're trying anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think we want to empower people to be about the good news. And that doesn't look like some old crusty evangelical, to mean what your grandma would have done with what we call the Baptist helmet, affectionately.
You can see it in the car with the steering wheel. It's right here. She pulls out in front of you and you're doing 60 and she's doing 4 and she doesn't speed up. But in that helmet's there, you better have some grace because she's on the bus. We're at the stop.
Amen. I think the point being is that it's time for us to take it back, like you said. Like, now is our moment. It is the moment that we stick the flag in the ground. We had this great thing with the heroes of the previous generation with their raising the flag and Iwo Jima and all this different type of stuff. And right now we get the opportunity to raise the flag in a different way, in a different kind of war, one that's waging in fear and panic and hysteria. And, man, we talked about this the other day. I got out, went to the grocery store, and I just noticed, man, people's heads were down, their spirits were heavy, and it was like they were toting this thing on their back, and that's where this is coming from. We want to help lift it up. It's not to ignore the situation, but it's just to say, hey, we get choices in the midst of this, and we can choose joy and love and laughter.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, well, early on, it's interesting because, listen, consummate teacher, right? I got to come back. I got to get serious. I'm trying not to, man. But think about this. It's just what's going on in your heart. It doesn't matter if you wash your hands 100 times versus twice. It doesn't matter if you spray the stuff when you get it home. I'm not saying it doesn't matter ultimately. If you are following, you got to put gas in your car to go. There's logic that we need to apply. And there is a virus. It's not a hoax. It is a real thing and all that. So, but it's not a conspiracy, or maybe it is. I don't know. My focus and what we're trying to do is say, let's put some joy in your heart. If that's your practice and you feel led to let people know, hey, check this out. That's an interesting fact, or this or that. That's fine. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to let stuff in our heart. We got to draw that line, and if that works for you, do it. Wash your hands more or less. But do not let fear about it, or depression, or discouragement, or this heaviness that you said earlier into your heart. That's the key. Guard your heart, and think on these things. The Bible's full of it. So, that heaviness in the grocery store that you're talking about. Now, you're going to see me. I'm kind of doing that. I'm kind of darting around. I don't like being in there anyway because I got to touch stuff. But I'm always like that. But it's not in my heart, That's what I'm saying. If I touch something, I know I've got to wash some hands. But I don't. It's my wife teases me, but it's not here. I don't. Hey, I'm ready to go home at any minute. If that happens, let's do it. To live is Christ, to die is gain. But it's not in the heart. It's not in the heart. So anyway, yeah, that breaks my heart to see people doing it from fear. That's not from God.
I learned really early on with you, Kev, when you first came over to my house and I offered you coffee.
Uh-oh.
We do half-calf coffee, and you were so mad when you found out.
Oh, God.
And I think now it actually might have been the fact that my cups weren't clean enough, and so you always bring your own coffee over.
No, but I do that. I do that at the Panera because I don't want to touch the little, or I'll pull my sleeve up and touch. Look, man, I'm being vulnerable here. It's not fear. It's just it might be OCD. I don't know. But let's just get it out there. Warts and all. Look, I'm a big believer that when Jesus tripped, he learned obedience through suffering. And I'm sure he tripped over a root, stepped in a hole, and had a couple of things to say about it in the moment. Not sin, just being a real person. Let's be real. In other words, we don't need to be sanctimonious. We need to stir up people's hearts.
Absolutely.
And, but there is a lot of good news from top to bottom. A lot of people don't realize that, and I'm just throwing out some facts, and I'm giving us another 5 minutes. Whoa, on this segment.
That's not a hot zone. That's a hot phone.
It is. It's got my timer on it, man. But I can still see it. But I think that there's some neat things that we've learned even. When we went through a lot years ago with 2008 and all that, and just, losing business and real estate and investments, credit, the whole thing, just wipe the slate clean of it. And the government back then was so slow and so difficult to deal with. And I mean, things didn't happen the way they should. And it come back to haunt them. A lot of people got in trouble. Banks got in trouble eventually. But I think there's a lot of good news now in that they learn from that. When somebody needs something, it's not just about bailing out big business. Everyday Joe needs something, and they're doing it. And I think it's positive. And we can argue it politically, but the point is, the Tennessee Valley Authority existed because people needed jobs back then. And that's what the heck this big government is for anyway. And I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying in a moment, people need to eat. They need to pay bills, and that exists. And there's, I talk to a lot of people. So it's so cool to see it happen, and technology being leveraged to do that. It doesn't need to go on like that forever. It's not welfare. It's just what the heck's it all about anyway? And that's nice because people, you know, a lot of people, my kids, you know, they got frontline jobs where they retail and they don't they're not doing a lot right now. So there's good things going on. Unemployment parameters have changed a little bit for a while. That's good. You know, people get reduced hours, they can get some unemployment. Why? Well, so they can buy bananas and water. It's awesome. That's good news too, you know?
I think we've fallen into a cultural trap where we've basically been lulled to sleep by always focusing on what's wrong, what's negative. Like
Exactly.
there's a problem in American culture and within the hearts of men that, you know, we take some type of gratification in like focusing on everything that's wrong. And, you know, the current cycle is what proves that to be true. And yet that doesn't mean we have to live by that at all, because living
Right.
by that is actually makes you a slave to it. And so we're cutting it off, you know?
No, there's no slaves around here, man. That's right. So speaking of slavery,
What a
uh,
segue. But I'm really interested to see where this goes.
look, I got to say this because I don't pay attention to social media, but I'm not being high minded about it. I don't care either way. Whatever. There's good and it's bad. But yeah, I mean, this we have gone off. We're drowning in knowledge, right? Starving for wisdom. There's a great gulf happening here between the IQ versus the you know, wisdom IQ. And I mean, I've seen the craziest things in the last week, being a little more confined, from everything from Tiger King to a guy licking a toilet seat and getting the virus. You know, your stomach acid, you can't get it by eating. Did he breathe it in from the toilet? I mean, there's a movie back about 2006 or 5 called Idiocracy, and it's got Luke Wilson and Dax Shepard. It's stupid, but it's really funny. I mean, it's not worth watching, but you could pull a good 30-minute segment out of that, and I mean, gosh, I feel like we're there. It's, you know, her drinking out of tubes. We can't even talk. It's like everything got thrown in a blender. You know, back when restaurants were a few years ago, these fast food places were doing, how about this stacked on this and that and the other thing? It's like, just throw all the crap in the blender, and we're going there. So all this has to be, there's our alarm. All this has to be turned around at some point. Get that. And I think this is
Oh, I lost you.
Yeah,
Come
I'm
back.
here, man. This is warts and all happening. But I think this is a great opportunity to take it back, to go, you know what, we're not stupid.
Yeah.
And it is, why does someone have 1 million followers who licks toilet seats? I mean, this is Jackass reinvented for now. It's stupid.
Yeah.
So
Well,
let's laugh.
it definitely
But not at
is.
that.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Guys, we're going to take a moment here and recognize our corporate partners. We're going to finish up with the last segment. So I'm going to share this out so you guys can check it out. Our corporate partners make this show possible, one of them being the Rising Tide Real Estate Team. They're a full-service real estate team representing both buyers and sellers, and that is still going on right now in a good way, 910-620-7177. Also, too, want to recognize our good friend Chris Riley and the team at Fountain Financial. We've got to update that. They're now Cap Trust Wilmington. You can reach them at 910-256-8882. And then last but not least, surely, is the Honeycutt Group, family-owned insurance brokerage company right here in Wilmington and surrounding North Carolina. Chad and his team are fabulous. 910-338-1777. 73. Matt Ham here. This is Kevin Adams. We do a weekly broadcast every week called Wake Up Our Faith. And we wanted to jump on today just off the cuff and do something a little different. And we called it Here's the Good News. And it's just about shifting our focus onto the positive things of life, the edifying things of life, and instead of just constantly staying in this like black hole of darkness and living in the shadows and, woe is me and us and all this kind of stuff.
The best thing about being thrown in a well, I'm thinking about that, right?
Have you ever been thrown in a well before?
I've been in a well, but I've not been thrown in one like Joseph.
Hey, do you remember Joseph got thrown in? Oh, yeah. I thought Jonah and the whale, different whale. Do you remember
WHALE versus?
Yeah. Do you remember that girl? Remember that girl? She was like, when I was a kid, she fell in a well. It was like a 2-year-old girl in Texas or somewhere.
Was that baby Jessica? Or
yes.
Was that? Yeah,
yes.
She had her arm.
Yes.
Through her head. Bless her heart.
They had to get her out, but like when
That's all I can tell you.
When I heard about it originally, they said she fell in a whale. Like I was a young kid, and I thought it was a whale, and it scared the mess out of me. I was like, "What is this?" But anyway, she survived, and we're good.
Yeah, no, that's important.
we're rabbit chasing today. You were talking about falling in a well.
Yeah. Well, the best thing about being in the bottom of a well is all you can do is look up.
Amen.
And everything good comes from above at that point, So when it rains, you float up. You don't have to dig your way out of it. You can't. So we can't dig our way out of, the things we've talked about. So we have to float, just like in the ocean or wherever. You got to rest. You got to float. And that requires, your heart to let go of some things. And so all we're trying to do here is hopefully we'll get better at it and have a little bit more content. But, we got plenty of time left here. But one of the things we wanted to do was poke humor at some things and just be lighthearted, but also come back with, some thoughts about how do you stay focused on the good news. Now, obviously, you want to spend time with the Lord and help people and those kind of things. And we've talked about that stuff a bit. But what we're talking about right now is and trying to get ahead of the curve is to laugh, to find things that you can enjoy and really just give yourself a moment to, one of our guys, a good friend, client, is HB. And he's a sharp guy, attorney, and but he's talking about sword fighting with his kid. I'm like, that's so cool. 1 minute I'm working, and next minute I'm sword fighting in my driveway with my kid. That's great, So I think that so let's use this segment to talk about ways, not just for hope and all this, but just like fun things. What are how do we take our focus off of negative and put it on positive, put it on good? How do you do that? That's our question and what we want to present.
Well, I think I want to hear from folks too about what they're doing in this time. And I think that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
What are you doing there? Like, are we all really just sitting around watching Fox News or CNN and waiting for the daggum sky to fall? Or are we all strangling our children? Are we all just sitting on the couch watching Tiger King? I mean, certainly we're not. There's other stuff going on, so what are we actually doing with our time and our lives? And I'd love to hear.
Yeah. So that's sort of it's an altar call for humor. And also good news, things that people are doing, or businesses, or anything you see that's good. This is not necessarily about trying to argue one side of it to the other. We're not arguing. We're not going to do that. We don't have time for that. What we do want to do is point out cool people, cool stuff happening. And here's a good, for instance, I read this morning and just lightly grazing over the news, it's 90% negative. I happened to see that, and I don't even know where it was. I didn't spend enough time on it, but some of the young folks into Chick-fil-A are they're writing positive notes on bags. So when they hand out, it's just drive-through these days. So when they hand that stuff out, it says these kids are writing cool stuff on there, like "Don't give up," stay joyful and things like that. And that's such a cool small thing. And I think that's the kind of thing we're looking for. Show us that, give us that kind of news.
Absolutely. One of the things that Ali Luckadoo just jumped on the live stream and shared and said that she's part of helping get medical workers free meals, which
Excellent.
is an awesome way. Which, of course, if for those that know Ali, that's just her, man. She's just energetic and is just going to be out there doing what she can to wrangle folks up and to bring some joy and some light into a situation.
If you don't know Ali, I picture her. You ever seen those movies where everybody's moving in slow motion, and you can see it and you can navigate around? I think she's so fast that we're all just moving in slow motion.
Yeah,
that lady gets stuff done right there. But man, I'm glad she's on our side. I'm glad she's
absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Awesome, though. That's good news. Absolutely. We want to hear more of that.
One of the things that's good news around our house is we've actually had the opportunity to teach our kids how to clean the toilet.
Yeah. Let's hear it. How do you do that? What's the protocol for that?
You got to show them. You got to get in there and get dirty with it and show them. But the point is, and listen, I'll be vulnerable. We've had a house cleaner for a while, and they come and they clean. And
you're bougie, man. You're bourgeois.
Bougie. My name is Bougie Ham. We have a house cleaner. Welcome to. Anyway, we've had this cleaner, and we love our cleaners. We love Hobby and Lauren, their business. They do a great job. We love the people there. But right now, we just said, hey, we're going to put a halt on that and make these kids do it, man. And I'm actually excited because they're doing it, and they can get it done
free.
I was talking, that's right. I was talking with Emily Parker, one of our good friends, Emily, and Emily is a homeschool mama, and she's been doing this thing.
She's almost Amish, except she's pretty.
Except she's pretty. Oh my gosh. Kevin, Lord bless you.
You got to be real, man.
You're keeping it fresh. Keeping it fresh.
I'm kidding. These guys are family to us. So we
Amen. They are.
And so are the Amish, man. They have great cabbage and cool farm stuff. But sorry. So keep going, man. Keep going.
So
Go,
Emily jumped on the other day, and she said, listen, when I went to Africa on a mission trip, she said there were 2-year-olds out there chopping up vegetables to put into the soup. And she said, it can be done. Yeah. And for some reason, she said, I'm making my son, she makes all this homemade granola and all this stuff. She said, I'm making my son grind pine nuts or whatever.
Oh, man.
And I see little Colin, man, with that grinder.
He's that kid can run laps around anybody. He's like a Ali Luckadoo in the little boy version.
Yes.
And so you set him in motion with I was teasing about the Amish thing, but no, that lady makes kombucha, whatever it is. And I mean, just like she's that kind of person. So that mixed with Colin, I mean, he's like a little dynamite. Or maybe he's a Carl Jr. But anyway, you're talking about employing your kids without paying them because it's time to learn some things, right?
It's time to saddle up. Come on.
Yeah, we did that too. But now more than ever, come back and experience what the dirty toilet is.
That's right. That's right. Hey, we had somebody else jump on, Kev, here. This is Krista Rose. She said, I'm watching little to no news, following positive Christian influences, reading, listening to music while walking and singing, sending out cards and making calls and texts to friends, trying to be a part of spreading the joy.
That's great. That's exactly, Jesus said, go into the world and make disciples of everyone. I think evangelism is one big thing, but there's so much to the discipling process, and sending a note, sending some flowers, a kind word. I had somebody say to me yesterday, after our conversation, I feel like a ton of bricks came off of me today.
Mm.
And you can walk away from little moments of doing that. We can all do that. So that's a great example. Thank you for that. And let's all continue to do that. And remember, we're kind of tethered together here. It's not about a building. It's about who we are, who he is in us. And but the more we do that, the more we take back the geography, we take back the place for him. We stretch the kingdom fence post out a little bit further and keep the enemy away. And, he doesn't deserve our joy. Why would we give it to him?
Amen.
So, if it means silly jokes.
Yeah. Well, I think
Let's do it.
Amen. What an interesting time, though, that the Lord would allow our buildings to be taken away to see who we really are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Well,
think what an interesting dynamic, though, is we have an opportunity right now to be that, and not just say it, not just say the church isn't a building, because plenty of people say it. Well, now that it's not an option.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Well, it was never a building, but we made it that. And when Jesus said, "Tear this temple down, in 3 days I'll raise it again," and he was talking about himself, and they didn't get it. That, to me, that was the turning point. Yes, he went into temples, but it's us, it's people.
Amen.
And I think that there's not some big lesson in all this, or we're not beating anybody up. It's great, go worship, but let's be the church, and let's use technology if that's what we got for a moment. I'm enjoying it, actually. And I won't. We got
says the guy who wants to stay 30 feet away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sneeze all you want. That's great. No. Well, I live, kind of in Egypt a little bit. I live by Fort Fisher, which, by the way, you need vitamin D. So close the beach. You can't get out there. What the heck, man? Open the freaking beaches. Anyway, there's my complaint. But I live far, and so driving to different parts of town, my car, it's got like leaves all over the front, and it's starting to look like one of those things you see out in rural wherever, where the kudzu's over it.
Yeah.
But no driving, saves gas. Gas prices are down. There's just tons of good news. There's tons of things. I can stack meetings up now because I don't have to have, hours worth of drive time. So that's positive, and I can help more people. That's just my little point of view. Yeah, I want to give them a hug sometimes, but, what can you do? And it's good. So.
Well, there's, and Brian here shared something else out, who's watching. Brian said that they're doing something through their church group, and what they're doing is ordering things, I think, online through Amazon and Walmart, and blessing people with it. They're calling it the Joy Project. And
awesome. That's so good.
We've got to start telling these stories, and I think that is the heart of what we want to do here.
Yes.
And like we said, guys, we're figuring this out with you guys. I mean, this is us being vulnerable, saying, hey, we're going to jump on today. We're going to cut up. We're going to laugh. We're going to talk about things that are good, and not get our focus hyper focused on everything else. And we both would love for this to be some type of regular thing where y'all are sending us your good news, sharing out how you're being innovative.
Yes.
Kevin's walking with people one-to-one. I'm doing some interviews with some of our team to, start to kind of share this out there. So this is about us taking back our city during a time when the city is shut down. That is the work of God.
That's right. Yeah. And we'll go a couple more minutes here, but I just to add a layer to this, what we do, the whole thing we do is we want to eradicate spiritual poverty and change geography generationally. So 50 years from now, and that requires a lot of deep kind of roots. So the problems all go back to spiritual. And, if you're a Christian, you kind of got to deal with that, or, go do something different. But and I'm teasing a little bit, but the thing is part of this whole thing is helping sort of tease out the gold in people.
Yes.
And whatever spot on that arc that we can enter that place, we all have a place to do that. We all disciple in the way that we're created to do it. And that's just God's genius in one body, many parts. So we need this to be a ground swell and a grassroots effort to just, so what Matt's saying and I'm saying is we want to present, we want to spotlight, we want to help you not only continue and encourage you on, cheering you on as you run, but anything you're doing, we want to point at that, because that's the church in action. Just like what Brian said, that's it. So we definitely want to highlight that. We want to present it out there. And it's not about looking at what I'm doing or right hand, left hand. It's about encouraging people that, what, we got a voice out here.
Yes.
We got a voice, and this is our place.
Well, yeah, man.
God's kids' place, right?
Yeah. Unity begins when we recognize that we're on the same flipping team.
Exactly.
And we need to start celebrating what the other team members are doing. It is not professional sports world where the quarterbacks and the wide receivers and the skill players get all the recognition. I mean, this is the kingdom, man. The daggum water boy, the lineman, the guy cleaning the bathroom in the stadium, they all matter to the creator.
So on that note, we'll kind of sum it up with this. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to do our regular teaching kind of show and our faith in business. But we want to add this to it and maybe even separate it. So we'd love your thoughts, but also your ideas and anything we can spotlight or help you with. But just take this, and I'll leave it here and you can wrap it up, Matt. But when you start thinking about something, kind of think about your heart. When you start thinking something negative, when it starts to sink in your heart, when you feel adrenaline or you get oh no, stop, take it back. What's the good news? Here's the good news. And so we want to provide that, and we want you to provide it for us. So we have something else to focus on.
Amen.
But just think about that, take it back when you start getting that thought.
Yeah. I think this is I love it. Take it back. This is an opportunity for us to take back the ground that we had lost by being so daggum busy and not taking the moment to focus on what is truly good with the things that are going on around us.
Yeah. Send somebody a funny emoji.
There you go. That's what you do. Kevin will send these emojis at like 12:02 a.m. I'm like, what are you doing, man? I'm on a couch just sending these hilarious emojis.
Yeah, do whatever you can, but do it with joy and laughter. And remember, God is good, and He hasn't gone anywhere. And we're His, and He's in us. And we want to lead. We, not me and Matt, all of us. We're meant for that, and that's having been tested, having been given wisdom for the circumstances, and courageously standing up in them. It ain't about influence or flock size. It's about people who've been tested, who are doing those things, and they're doing them joyfully. So, here's the good news. Help us keep going.
That's it, man. Well, you folks that are watching, tuning in, make sure you send us your stuff. You can reach out, info at uprint.life. You can connect with me, Matt Ham, on social media. You can connect with Kevin. He just might not see it for a while. He's socially distanced from social media, but we are Uprint. You can connect with us on our site as well, uprint.life, youprint.life. And we've got incredible resources to walk with you guys every single day. You can get plugged into the Portable Faith community at wakeupmyfaith.com. We've got teaching videos that are going out, and we just want to actually just embrace this with you guys. So for those who tuned in on the live stream, thank you so much for your ideas already. We feel like we got some energy and moving in a good direction here, man. So Kev, this was fantastic, buddy. Looking to see what the Lord does and how He continues to open up new territory.
Amen. Well, all right. We appreciate you, man, and everybody else. So we'll be back.
Sounds good. You guys be well.